Welcome back to Marketing Champions here on Daily Ad Brief. I'm Howard Walpuff, your host. We're talking about marketing from around the country with great marketers. And today we're in Maryland talking to Cindy Breck Bouet of Millennial Marketing Agency. And Cindy, welcome to the conversation today.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Well, we're glad to have you. So you have been involved in marketing for a while. You obviously have a love for marketing and do really great things with your clients. Why don't you share with us how you got started?
So my degree is actually in web development. I didn't fall in love with marketing as soon as I graduated college. I didn't, study marketing. But I fell in love with marketing when I started working at an agency as a web developer, and I really got to dive deep into, the point of websites. Back when I learned how to code websites, it was just to develop websites. There was no real reason. I just coded websites. But then I learned that there are an incredible tool for marketing. They're like really the number one tool for marketing nowadays, let's be honest. So really my love for web development kind of drew my love for marketing, because I realized that they really belong together. So that's kind of how I got into it.
And it's very true, and it amazes me still how many companies don't have a website and how many companies felt it was fine to build a website 8 to 10 years ago and keep the same website up while the marketing world and the those that view websites have really passed them by. And it's so when you speak to people now, you are really looking at the whole picture about their brand, about their messaging, about their story as you're building websites, as you're creating what messaging they're going to be doing.
Yes, exactly. So our niche is actually small businesses, and with small businesses comes a very small budget, of course. But our niche is to really act like an expansion of their small business. So they hire us as an agency, and we really are kind of act like another one of their employees, to be honest. And because they can't afford a full-time, marketing person in there. So usually my first thing that I go to, because my background is web development, I'll go to their website right away. And I'm like, okay, y'all haven't touched this in 7 years. You haven't touched this in 3 years. You haven't even touched this in 1 year. And I really will start there and then kind of go to the bigger picture of things. So, and it's always the first couple of meetings with them is always a big lesson of why is it important to actually update your content, and why does that, SEO matter, and why should your marketing materials look like your website, and so on and so forth. So it's a huge discussion that we have.
And I'm sure it expands into social media as well. Those that set up a Facebook page for their business made a nice little post in 2018 and haven't been back since. I'm sure you get a few of those.
Oh, all the time. My favorite are when they only post for holidays. So it's like Happy Halloween or Happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, and then that's all they post. And I'm like, and they're like, we don't get any likes. And I'm like, guys, okay, well, let's talk about your services. Let's talk about your team. Let's talk about what makes you different. Let's put some money behind some ads. So I can go on and on about social media. That's one of our biggest services that we offer. But I love helping small businesses with it, because they truly don't have any idea what works, what the algorithm is like this week, because let's be honest, it changes every other week. Should they put money behind any ads? How often should they post? I could go on and on, of course, just like everybody else about that. But we always talk about how we need to do things in tandem, meaning we need to hit the website, we need to hit social media, we need to do a little bit of paid Google advertising. Let's throw some email marketing in there. So we really try to set up the big picture of everything together. And that's one of the big differences in our agency, is we touch every single thing with only a couple of members of my agency. It's not like a huge agency, which is great. And it really helps communicating with small businesses, because we are a small business as well.
And small businesses need that. I agree with you that a lot of them do not fully understand how best to market themselves, and partnering with someone like you and your agency really does help them, and really helps translate some of the changes that are going on as time goes on, the things they have not been doing maybe since they launched their business. But as things change, they continue to, and over the next couple of years, there'll be some additional changes in platforms and way to market. What do you see as some of the upcoming changes that may be occurring for you and your clients?
Well, I mean, so I only launched this agency in January, and things have changed even since January. We're talking, a little over 10 months, and it's ever evolving, right? So everything is moving towards digital, and I think it's just going to keep on moving towards digital. Now, we do print advertising as well, of course. We can't get rid of that altogether. I think that a lot of businesses are going to have to really pony up and realize that they need to put some money behind their social media and their Google ad campaigns. Now, these bigger companies, of course, they have that in their budget already. But a lot of these smaller companies, they don't even think about digital advertising because number one, it's a beast that they don't understand and they're nervous to get started. They have a lot of companies around here think it's all um, kind of like a scam, and I have to teach them like, no, Google isn't a scam, that kind of thing. Same with Facebook. So I think it's just going to be moving more towards that aspect of things, meaning more dollars behind your smaller organic campaigns. So we're going to have to throw a little bit of money behind there. So I don't think I don't see it as changing too much, honestly, because it has changed so much in the past couple of years. But I see that we're just going to have to kind of beg a little bit to get some more money behind our organic posts. Um, in that sense, that's really what I see.
And it's good that you have that vision of what your clients will need, and I guess you've taken them by the hand in the right way in delivering them a marketing message that's resonating, and finding the right way for them to tell their story that is current and not 7 years old. So we thank you for sharing that with us, and really everything you're doing for your clients and everything in your community. So thank you for joining us today.
Of course, thank you so much for having me.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Cindy really tells a great story of how to work with small business owners and really how to guide them and create a game plan for them to get their message out there. You can learn more on Daily Ad Brief. But go on, have a great rest of today, and we'll see you next time on Marketing Champions.